Welcome to Conservative Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith. This week we talked to Chris Berndt, who is running for US Senate against Tammy Duckworth. Chris described himself as a conservative and is campaigning on limited taxes and smaller government. This week I actually took time out to actually read the US Constitution, and I was more intrigued with what isn't there than by what is there. Basically, very few powers are given to the government and very few rights given to us. More important are rather casual comments made in the 9th and 10th Amendments, what we sometimes refer to as the Bill of Rights. It says that everything else not enumerated in the Constitution are rights and privileges retained by the people. That's where your limited government is and where your freedom for the people is. But the sticky part is that we are governed by ourselves. So in a sense, it's also our right to give our freedoms away on our behalf. In today's world, it seems apparent that in many cases, our rights have been given away, but not on our behalf, but instead by a money laundering scheme of special interest, lobbyist, and foreign investment. This is racketeering, and it's a crime, literally. It's easy to be discouraged by this. Chris described himself as a conservative instead of a Republican, and that is what, we can ask, what is it that people like Chris and many of us on the call what is it we're actually trying to conserve? And we think it's traditional American family values, safe neighborhoods, and a vibrant economy. I also like to add that we're also trying to conserve the liberal ideals of social progress and general welfare, which has been subverted by the Democrat Party, just like conservative values have been subverted by the Republican Party. I would like to suggest to Chris and others running is to ask the voters about the on our behalf part. Are we happy with how our elected officials have governed on our behalf? Many of us have a lot invested in our identity as a Republican and as a Democrat. For many, it is the very definition of being a good person, a smart person, and a sophisticated person, and a caring person. Who wants to give up any of that? But what Chris and others need to remind voters is that we've given that all up long ago. And actually, we're voting for candidates and parties which went out of business a long time ago and have been replaced by money laundering schemes. They say you can judge a society by the way they care for the least and most vulnerable in society. These include children, families, minorities, and women. Clearly, we can see that we are all falling behind. And who is traditionally the champion of these groups? Where's the progress? Progress is that more and more of us are entering into the category of the most vulnerable in society. And there's no sign that there's any interest in helping any of us. And that's because the huge pool of rights and privileges not enumerated in the Constitution have been monetized on our behalf and are being sold back to us for political profit. Some people couch this scenario as a battle between good and evil, but in our Constitution, even evil has the right to exist. They say money is the root of all evil, and pure capitalism is making money on money. Evil is trying to outlaw good's right to exist on our behalf so that the government can be a closed system unto itself. This is a very, very clever and efficient idea. It's a marvel, actually, of ingenuity, but it's a complete subversion of humanity. Unfortunately, even evil has the right to exist in the Constitution, and the only thing we can do about it is to vote almost every incumbent out of office and elect the people to truly govern on our behalf. Is this the beginning of the end for party politics in this country? And will it be enumerated one day as one of the most meaningful and significant casualties of the pandemic narrative? Perhaps. We really are not that much freer in this country than people are in any other country. You can see that in most places, we are as free as we want to think we are, as long as we go along with the status quo. Rosa Parks was not the first to be arrested on the Montgomery, Alabama bus system as a dissident, Many before her did the same thing and were hauled away for being a January 6th domestic terrorist. It was only at the end of the long arc of history that Rosa is seen today as an icon of American freedom. We talk a lot about candidates and politics on Conservative Coffee Hour, but we really do not spend a lot of time talking about voters or we the people. We lament that we need better candidates, but what about better voters? Are you a good voter? And what makes you a good voter? Always voting for the same party? Does that make you a good voter? It does if you're one of the two dominant political parties in this country. Your faith in our political system is not dependent on any particular party, and neither should your support be for a candidate. Am I saying that both parties are bad? I guess I am. And am I saying that Republicans are as bad as Democrats? Probably. Winston Churchill said that democracy is the worst form of government, except when it's compared to all the rest. One caveat to all of this is that we often hear that a Republican candidate is really a Democrat. We never hear that a Democrat is really a Republican. And that is because this particular narrative comes directly out of Democrat Central. Please don't fall for this. Go ahead and disagree with the Republican candidate and be a critic, but please don't be a mouthpiece for this particular narrative because it comes right from the Democrat Party. Please do not repeat this about any political candidate. It might be true, but it's simply not helpful. Instead, be an informed voter. Vote for the person, not the party, and be conservative about preserving our rights, freedoms, and privileges, and about preserving the ability of progress for everything that is right and just. If you would like to join us at Conservative Coffee Hour, I'll include my email in the description of this video, and I will be happy to send you an invite. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.